Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Really important when you're dealing with a person that triggers you because there is a spiritual significance to the connection, but it's all about your healing. So that's why I like to dive deep. So, we see a lot of toxic relationships, but we also see people that are toxic but don't really mean to be toxic. They're just in their trauma. We see people that actually are enjoying to stay in that toxic energy too. It's all about, it's not about what we can, it's not about what I'm trying to say is it's not about manipulating your environment or changing the people in your environment to do what you want them to do. It's about you changing. But a lot of times, how we learned how to survive is what blocks us. And it's because the way that we learn to deal with a certain behaviorism. And what you'll know is the universe will continue to give you the same types of energy until you learn how to deal with it, until you handle it differently. So you can see yourself differently. Because as long as you don't get good results in dealing with that type of energy, well, it has the power to keep you in a lower vibration. And really, there's only two energies, love and fear. You are always supposed to be striving to reach the energy of unconditional love. And that's really hard to do when we're dealing with toxic people, when we're dealing with people that really don't have our best interest at hand, that like to trigger, that like to get underneath the skin. Like I said, sometimes people just have a problem with you being in your peace. And that's because they don't have peace. I mean, it could be as something as simple as that. Like, I don't do anything. I'm just, you know, going about my own business and people have a problem with it. Well, people have a problem because you're not affected. And you're not affected because, hey, you got to a point where you had to detach, you had to disassociate. Now, I don't know why I say what I say in the beginning of a reading. I haven't even pulled the card yet, but I'm having a feeling like you've like detached and it's affecting not just one person, but a lot of people. Let's see what the word of the video is. That's what happens when you don't use cards to do readings. You wind up channeling, and then it's like, oh, yeah, let me pull a card. It's like, all right. So, again, obsession. So, I believe that the energy has changed between you and a person, but not just one person, but a lot of people. And people are obsessing over what you're doing. It's like they're obsessed. And that's because it's triggering their wounds. So I don't know why I'm feeling, but I have to say, like, I feel like this person is like afraid that you're gonna go and have a better life without them. It's like in life, leave them behind. And I feel like other people want to be able to utilize your energy, but you're just not caring what anyone else wants. You got tired of the disrespect because, again, of the narcissistic energy. You were surrounded by narcissists where that wanted to keep you hopeless. Those cards literally just fell out. So that's really what it is. People disrespected you. So this is the karmic theme. The underlining energy is you've had enough of the disrespect. So you have a lot of people focusing on you and not really wishing you well because it's like, how dare you? They can see the vision. They can see the vision of you being happy. So that's the underlining energy. Now we're gonna pull from my deck. I've been liking to use like these little index cards. I made these cards like when I first got into doing readings because I couldn't afford cards. I was poor. And it was poor because, I wasn't really good at anything except for doing readings. I had a hard time staying present. And so money, when there's a disconnect from the physical body, there's a disconnect from money. All right. Clashing. Like you just don't like that's what it is. It's like everybody can feel like you are just not going to let them into your energy. They feel that the boundary and nobody's liking it because hey, they were able to disrespect you and utilize your energy and gaslight and manipulate. And I feel like for some of you, I don't know why I'm getting this. You might be in a lawsuit and the thing is it's like you have good counsel. And because you have really good counsel, like it's almost like you have connected with people that are on, like when it comes to, I don't want to say shifty, but like, you usually deal with narcissistic energy that's is all about manipulation and gaslighting to keep you stuck in a place of limitation, to make you feel unworthy, to make you feel not good enough, to give you that perception about yourself and here it is. It's like that's not who you are. The energy clashes. It just and they know it and it pisses them off. And your good counsel is like a representation of who you are today. For those of you that are going through a lawsuit or going through like I've heard a custody battle, I heard, again, it could have been a job. You could have had a death in the family. There's a lot of different, it's a collective reading, but I feel like the disrespect, we wanted to give you pennies. We didn't want to pay you. We didn't want to give you anything. We didn't want to, and that's again, family. It could be family or people again that you're just dealing with within a lawsuit. And this person too. It's like if they're going to come into your life, they would have to raise their vibration. They would have to treat you better. They'd have to acknowledge your feelings. And the thing is, your boundaries are so strong that the energy, and it's like, that's the thing. This person wants you to commit to them. They want, but it's about dominance. It's about control because this person depends on other people's energy too much. So even with you at a time, they would depend on your energy too much. They're needy. Narcissistic people are needy. They can't take care of themselves. They are embarrassed by their actions and they feel disgusted with themselves. But understand that's because you're not taking it anymore. They know that they messed up. They know. They know. And that's the something. It's like this person like does have still a soul connection to you, but the problem is that this person never really clarified their intentions with you and they thought that they were just going to keep it in a place of limbo and just come and go. I mean, disrespecting is that it's not paying attention to your needs, what's going on in your life, participating in your life in a way, and that's really what it is. It's like I do feel like this person is going to come back and give you an apology, but that's because, they see you're not coming back. And they got a lot from that. It made them feel good. And I feel like you might be getting an apology from a lot of people. The problem is that we teach people how to treat us over time. Otherwise, people are just creatures of habit, and what they're used of treating you a certain way, they enjoy that because of their shadow. I get to feel superior. I get to feel better about myself. It feeds their ego. They think that they're spiritual. They're not spiritual. They're not. People that try and be shady, people that think that they deserve more or have entitlement is all the energy of narcissistic behavior, and that's really what it is. So the thing is that I feel like people don't know what to do. So it's almost like things are frozen. And it's because, hey, people are scared. You've scared them. And you've scared them because they're seeing what you're made of. where again, they wanted to perceive you in a certain way, which made them feel better about themselves. It's nothing to do with you, and that's really what it is. They created too much tension, and at this point, it's all about you like trying to ground yourself more, and that you can do that by going out in nature. It's to, connect with source at this time, because I feel like a lot of energy is being like projected onto you. And yes, this one person is seeing, well, I took it to the extreme and I see you're not coming back. My issue is, what are the intentions? Because sometimes people just want to come back because they had access. They had access to you and they missed that access. So that's my concern. I mean, and at this point, I also feel like this person finally got to a place where you disconnected. So why are they going to come back now? Like it's like they waited all this time to come back to fix it. It's like this person, like I said, I hate to say it, they want a new beginning, and I'm not lying, but they're going to try and do it fast. So I don't trust this person. They don't, because you're moving on. This is what this person feels. It's like, again, you're moving on. You're going to leave them behind. So it's again, they're like, I don't know, it's a 50-50 it's a 50-50, coin toss. Like, you may tell me to go screw myself, or you may take me back. I don't have anything to lose. But I feel like this person doesn't want to like acknowledge like anything that has transpired in the past. This is, oh, you're leaving me behind because you're freaking disgusted with me. I'm disgusted with myself, where it's almost like this person saying, well, maybe this was just to take a break and, to do reflection. But I feel like you're like, no, what it brought me was to my inner child healing, because this person didn't give you anything. They treated you less than. So they gave you a lot of time to contemplate on the connection, and really in that, what you noticed is that your chakras were imbalanced. Your chakras were imbalanced because, hey, this person spent a lot of time, oh, like they not with you. You had a lot of time alone. And so to reflect and to rest. And what you saw was, wow, no one is actually treating me well. There's a lot of people in my life that has been disrespecting me and thinking that, I deserve less than what I truly deserve. That only works if you believe that you deserve less. That's the problem. Like people can say, well, you don't deserve it. It doesn't matter what they think. What matters, do you think that you deserve? Because they can't do anything. It's because we can get our needs met by, grounding ourselves and being interactive in new things with new people. So you're not reliant, you're a strong person. And so again, you put these people in a place of fear. It keeps saying it, and these people are also irritated, but you got tired of the repetitive shit. So of course they're nervous because everybody knows that they didn't treat you well. And that's the thing about this person that's connected to you is saying, well, I have a 50-50 chance because, we had a strong connection. Maybe you still have feelings. Maybe I can, you know, say something, but understand it's because you're moving away. And being that you're moving away, this person like wants to like come back, but like, and they're going to say their true feelings, but Spirit is saying you need to look deeper and understand this person does have hidden emotions, but you need to look deeper because this person needs to, provide for you in a way that's going to be expressive of their emotions and also show up for you. And that's the thing. And the spirit saying they're going to come back and they're going to tell you, but you need to look deeper, which means that they're not being 100% honest. They're not being 100% honest. They just know you're moving on, you're done. You see that they're narcissistic. And this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. This person is like it'll be a trap because they see that you're a great catch, but they would just manipulate. And that's these people too. It's like no one here has your best interest at hand, is what I see. I see like people that were used to treating you a certain way that have lost access. And, and because they lost access, they might come back and apologize, some of them. It's like this person for sure is going to come back and apologize, but it's going to be more of the same. And that's because you're moving on and they see that you're not extending yourself, so they're going to think that maybe you think that they've done some self-improvement, but this person does not like the restrictions. They're not going to let you have boundaries. They're not going to have you again. They saw you as a people pleaser at one time. And the thing is that you shape shifted your energy on this person. So now, like I said, it's triggering their ego. So be careful. They're gonna say, they're gonna tell you, that they'll be there. They're going to try and see you. And they might even give you a ton of emotion right away. But Spirit's saying it's like it's a trap. It's a trap. It's this person would be dominant over you. They'd be jealous. You would be trapped. And that's because this person like saw you as property. And there's a little bit of underlining energy with the people that are surrounding you. Like what that could be like a few family members, it could be, friends. Like it's again because you're done. And the thing is when you're done, you didn't scream about it, you didn't yell about it, you detached. So people didn't really know how strong you were. They seen how strong you are now. And that's creating a lot of worry and fear. And like I said, and it's triggering that person. Now, I don't know why I say what I say. I just say it. And then we're going to look and we're going to see what spirit wants you to do to heal. Because really, in this situation, like this person doesn't have good intentions. You don't want to take this person back, at all. They would really mess your life up. When we look and we see like, well, what are they doing? What have they done? Because they wasted a whole lot of time, expecting you to come back, expecting you to cave, expecting like to have the easy way out. And what they're seeing is, oh, there is no easy way out. I'd actually have to man up, woman up, It's like no, this person projected for a long time. They still project. It's like, oh, well, they just want you to conform. And that's the thing. This person is like again, acting as if they can't do anything because they already know that they ruined the trust. They just feel this past life connection, but they're stressed out and they have been stressed out. It is that they're sad, but they know that they betrayed you. So that it's almost like because you changed your energy vibration so much, this person does not know how to approach you at all. It's like there's no way in. There's just no way in. They really thought that they were going to play this, and now it's like irritating them that you put yourself in this energy, which is making them now want to come to you. Like I said. And the reason why is because they see things are happening for you. They see abundance for you. You might be focusing so much on your career right now. that, and they might even be hearing around town what you're doing. So I just heard some people are in real estate, so they're seeing like billboards, or they're hearing about it, or some job that you have, or maybe you're in a business group and they're hearing about it. They're just in word it's getting back to this person that you're moving on. That you're not even thinking about this person, that you're in abundance. This person was a narcissist. These people that had the same matching energy as this person when it came to how they treated you and how they wanted to perceive you. And you're not that person. And so there's a lot of people that are embarrassed. Well, it's again, whatever you're doing, you're in your craft and you're listening to your higher self. You're emotionally fulfilling yourself and waiting for the sign. So intuitively, you're being led by whatever it is that you're passionate about, but there's abundance attached to it. So money, God always makes a way where there is no way just for you. So we see like that they're in two different energies. They're projecting, they're sad, they're fearful, but we see the energy that you're in, and we see why that's making them like again want to reach out to you. But it's about dominance, it's about control, and and spirit says be willing to stand alone. Those who are meant to stand with you will remain. You couldn't have gotten a better card. You couldn't have gotten a better card for this reading. I mean, literally, you couldn't have gotten a better card, because there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to see you succeed. And it has everything to do with them. You're the hayoki. The hayoki is the empath that comes in to people's lives and shows them the mirror. They project. They project when they meet a person that's humble, when they meet a person that's true, when they meet a person that's innocent. They project all their perception. So they could be greedy and they're saying that Hayoki is greedy. They can say that person's selfish when meanwhile they're selfish, right? So they projected a lot of their narcissistic tendencies onto you, because the Hayoki does that. Where spirit says the Hayoki also like is able to create. That's why you got crafts, to be able to create out of nothing. And so it people get triggered by the Heyoki because they're like, you shouldn't have that. Who are you? I'm better. And they have a sense of entitlement again, which is a lower energy. And their mind will tell them, who are you? And they just want to erase certain factors about you. They want to rewrite the story, and there's nothing you can do about it. Where spirit says you have to be willing to stand alone. You'll get your greatness, but don't be surprised if there's only three people in the audience clapping for you and you don't even know them. There's Toothless Harry, there's, you know, Crazy Martha, and, who cares? That's your tribe. Be happy for yourself, is what Spirit's saying. It's like, don't let anyone take it from you, because they'll try to make you, they'll try to make you feel bad about what you deserve for yourself. And no one can take what's yours, only you can forfeit it by letting people emotionally manipulate you. Always be true to yourself. Put your hand on your heart and ask, what do I know about this situation? Again, you may be surprised to see a lot of other negative traits where you're like, wow, these people really didn't like me for a long time. Wow. There were signs right from the beginning, you know, where I thought that someone cared. They're not. I mean, it's about reflecting. It's being true to yourself when you stop and you really say, well, what really happened here? How did you treat me? What were the reasons why? And then when you do your assessment, you know, what you'll see is that people just want to treat you the way that they want to treat you sometimes. And if you grew up in a narcissistic family, it wouldn't be uncommon if you married somebody and they had a narcissistic family and they treated you badly, or if you started to work at a place and the owner of the place was narcissistic and their daughter was narcissistic and their wife was really narcissistic, it wouldn't be uncommon because again, that you lived with that energy, you grew up with that energy, that's the trauma. And so you have to go through a situation that allows you to see yourself differently. That's how God heals you. That's how God makes other people pay their karma. And that's why the hayoki is really hated because you're making people eat their karma. Don't deprive yourself of the simple pleasures in life in pursuit of your goals. Spirit says, find your balance. You can have friends. Yeah, you should have friends. You should have emotional connections and doing things also that emotionally fill you up. It gives you better perception. If we just work, 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 work all the time, we lose the passion for it. It also can become boring. It can become stale. So we want to be able to have a balance in life is what spirit is saying. And these are things that you need to do right now. And now spirit says every self-honoring boundary you set has potential to heal the other person. So actually, by making these people like have to like look at themselves, because you're going to be triggering a lot of people because success is coming to you. And when that happens, they're forced to look at themselves. They wouldn't be looking at themselves. Again, first they're going to get mad though. There's always the stage, denial, anger, projection. But over time, you know, whether we want to or not, we get to see a different perception. And that might be where if you married somebody, let's just say, and that person now winds up marrying somebody later on that, also had children. And so seeing things from a different perception actually means that you might have been horrible to your stepmother, but like just horrible, disrespectful, dishonoring. And then now here it is, you're a stepmom. That's just an example, or a stepdad, But there's many different ones where it's like, well, now you're in that position, which forces you to learn. Say, oh, that's what it felt like. That's what I did. That's when we get what we give is what we get back. You're the beginning of that for people. And so, no, they don't like you because it's the starting of, whenever there's wounds, it's like, well, now it's going to show up and it's going to show up within, here you detach. They can't use your energy. They can't use your money. They can't use your time. They can't manipulate you to give you less than what you deserve. They can't do anything. And so again, you're moving on. You're taking your energy and moving into abundance while these people are not. They're actually in the sludge of their mess. And spirit says, take time out, put your hand on your heart, say, what do you know about that situation? What you know is that people didn't have your best interest at hand. That's all you needed to know. And that you need to be around people that do. That's what you do now. And spirit says, now your soul's main objective in this universe experience is to return to your ultimate sovereignty and infinite essence, which means you return back to your energy of unconditional love. Don't hold animosity towards people because understand the universe is making these people pay their due. They're going to have to pay their due if they haven't already. But the consequences get worse and worse and worse because that's the way that it works. Spirit says you need to go back to the energy of love by creating again, by doing what you love, moving into abundance. It's like, and leave that alone. It's like, and that sometimes it's not that easy when people are wishing you bad. right? It's like we don't, it's hard to revert back, but Spirit says you won. You're in that energy. You're in that energy of, you know, moving into abundance. And that's not just financial, but it's emotionally where these people are not. They you can't do anything worse to them is what the universe says. Believe me, the universe sees everything and doesn't make people pay right away. So it's really, this is what Spirit is saying. Now we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? I already pretty much said it, but I always like to pull the inner child wound cards. But we see, what are they? It's like I have to pull the cards. You know? It's like I have to remember. I should say I have to remember to pull the cards. That's really what it is. Okay, the first card out is support. Oh, okay. All right, those fell on the floor. Support. Then we see a shame. Sorry about that. We see self-love. We see anchor, flow, organized chaos, and magic. See, when they fall out, I always believe that there are no mistakes. Let's just get some of these other cards out of the way. I make a mess when I do readings. Cards are just everywhere. And then sometimes they wind up on the keyboard to the point that they move the keyboard. Okay. So this is the underlining energy. The underlining energy is like support and shame, self-love, anchor, organized chaos, magic. Okay, so when I see like the support and shame and like an anchor, what you see is there was no support. There was no, like what you see here is a child and a parent. And, that's what anchors us to the ground. That's what roots us. That's what our roots is where we come from. So I believe that you grew up in an environment where people, they didn't love themselves. They weren't taught self-love. They didn't love themselves. It was like how they treated themselves. And it was how they treated you too, because people only know how to treat you the way that they treat themselves. They can't treat you better than how they treat themselves. So you had to learn self-love. So unfortunately, the energy was shame. Because what happens when we don't like ourselves is there's usually addictions, money problems, and other things that have put us in that place of shame. So you could have had a parent that cheated, could have had parents that struggled financially, had addiction problems. There was lack and that shame. So again, that organized chaos means, hey, well, you had a home and you had a bed to live in and food to eat, but there were a lot of spiritual issues. And it was because if your parents don't love themselves and because they don't come from strong roots. And that's because of whatever was going on in their family's family or what was going on collectively that influenced the family. That's stress. And so people can live spiritually imbalanced, but they don't have a good life. They're walking from a place of not loving themselves. And the irony is, when we are in that state, we actually have a lot of magic because spirit is with us all the time. It doesn't mean that we're tapped into that magic. What it means is that we're detached, we're disassociated, we can psychically see, we can feel. Again, because when our family is checked out, now we have to step in and kind of be adults before we are adults. So children can't logic. They have to, again, tap into their intuition. They have to, use their survival skills much like an animal. So again, what winds up happening is when people live in survival mode and they have shame, unfortunately, they have self-sabotaging behavior that repeats that where there's, again, person doesn't love themselves. And what's affected is that second chakra. The second chakra is all about our unique individuality. It's it's the emotional center. So think of tears. The emotional center. Well, it's the birthing center. It's our balance center. It's how well we go with the flow of life. It's being in the passion for life, right? So when we're in the passion for life, we're actually elevated. Our energy, and the hayoki always knows how to do this, by the way. It's like because they have magic from that pain that they grew up in. You know, the hayoki is a path that spirit actually chooses for the person because it's not an easy path, especially when you're surrounded by narcissists and you keep getting that, and to be so strong and not lose yourself in that process because again people always want to manipulate and want you to think less, and they want to keep you in the energy of that you don't love yourself. So needing to learn that self-love and move out of shame and is what spirit said. So that's why you connected to who you connected to. Now I want to see um, how to alchemize that energy because you're the alchemist of your life. You can't just get rid of negative energy. You have to actually do something with it. So we look and we have to see again, what are we supposed to do during that this time? And understand spirit might call you to take time out and rest, might tell you to, go out into the unknown. We don't know, but there's always reasons why, where Spirit says, okay, take bold action. Again, take big steps that push you out of your comfort zone. Act decisively. Well, understand your comfort zone really shouldn't be that comfortable because you've been around narcissists. So, part of taking a bold action into the unknown is you get to meet different people that see you differently because you're not the same person. Teaching people that you're someone that they, don't want to perceive you as is next to impossible. So, what usually changes the perception of people that don't want to change their perception of you is other people's perception of you. That's the irony. And it's because I don't want to believe that. So you can't bypass their reptilian mind because then they'd have to look at themselves and they don't want to do the shadow work that they need to do. So Spirit says it takes time to take bold action, take steps that push you out of your comfort zone because you get to meet new people, experience new situations and experiences. Leap of faith, take a bold steps, even if the path is not fully visible. Risks are rewarding. So you keep being told, move, oh, move away from these people. Get away from these people. Get away from these people is what I keep hearing. It's like, yes, even if you don't know where the hell you're going, just go because it's going to be better than what these people think or how they want to treat you is what that says. And that's okay. You're not $100 bill. You're not going to be everybody's favorite. You don't need to be. You got enough people. Align your heart with your actions. Follow your passion. Now, I know that there's a person on this card, but really it's the passion for life. Because when you align with your passion for life, then you meet people that automatically resonate with your heart. If you just try to be with somebody without that passion, it won't be a healthy relationship because spirit's saying being with narcissists used your energy for a long time. That's why these people are mad, or they perceived it, they benefited from you somehow. Maybe you didn't even know how, but understand that's the thing. Or they want to be able to benefit from you somehow, or they don't want to give you something. They want to treat you less than, which is narcissistic behavior. So unless you're doing it for yourself, you can't tell what's counterfeit. You'll let your emotions dictate. And you can't let your emotions dictate, especially with narcissists, because narcissists can feel and can turn it on and can become whoever you want them to become in that moment. So it's just not, it's best not to deal with it. to deal with them. And Spirit says it's all about the grand journey, all experiences, good and bad, unfortunately. And what this was bad, shape your soul's evolution to learn and to grow. And here it was to understand your worth, really, Spirit's saying. Again, go into uncharted waters. Spirit is just saying it's like you have to do that in order to, you know, integrate all facets of yourself. You had fragmentation. Understand everything's going to happen in divine timing for you. This was about learning how to flow with grace, navigate life by going with the flow of life, by being in the passion for life. That is how you ease your mind and you're not affected. That's how you're divinely protected by people and situations and experiences that want to affect you and just want to affect you because they're not happy. Because again, it's whatever their perception, and there's millions. For some, I just felt like a friend that may be jealous of your success or your looks or something that just like feels that you should be acting a certain way towards them and you're not. So that's aggravating. You can't like manipulate the environment. You change yourself. And when you change yourself, that's what really scares narcissists because, you know, they can't utilize it anymore, but it's you anymore. But that's not even the worst of it. The worst of it is they're forced to look at themselves. And they don't want to feel inadequate. They don't want to feel like they're on the shit end of the stick. They'd had no problem dishing it out, but they can't take it even when you didn't even mean to really even take it. You're just doing your own thing and disconnected. You're not causing any harm. You disconnected, but you're not letting other people bother you, and that bothers them. So we leave off with one more message. Spirit says, take one step at a time. See the mountain ahead and dedicate yourself to taking one small step at a time. Make progress by staying focused on the present moment. Again, don't let people take you away from the present moment. You're really close to abundance. The current task, remain regain your ease of living. And really, that's what it is. It's like you're allowed to be in your own energy. You're allowed to be comfortable. You're allowed to be happy. People have a problem with you being happy. They have a problem with you getting what's due to you because you created a comfortable life. So now your life looks too good for certain people. That's their problem. They need to focus on their own life. They're not happy with their own life. Spirit says, have the courage. Courage. Know that you're stronger than fear and bigger than doubt, that you're light and you remain light. Trust in God and stand tall before the tests of life. This was a test. Were you going to accept less than what you deserve from a bunch of narcissists, including that person that thinks that they can just come back because, oh, you're moving on into abundance and that irritates me? No, Spirit says grow and become wiser through every challenge. And that because you are a being of new life, able to create a new life, and you're about to step into a new life. And that is what's pissing people off. Because it's like, well, then you're going to have a better life than I have. And who are you? It's like, it's not that you didn't create it, you created it. It's like, well, you were supposed to give that energy to me. You were supposed to, no. No, that might have been the old you, but it wasn't even that. It was that you were nice. You just treated people the way you wanted to be treated and assumed that you would be treated the same way back, and that's not what happened. And now you're making people nervous. Keep them nervous. Keep them nervous. I'm going to leave that there. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.